What is going on, guys? Dizzy Dan here. Welcome back into the channel and welcome to episode 69 of Disney Fiasco. 69 episodes. I think it's just crazy. We are getting there to 100 episodes, and that's going to be mad anyway. But episode 69 is here, and I am joined by two of my wonderful YouTube friends. Thank you so much for joining me. First off, my kind of co-host, my friend. I've missed you because you haven't been on for quite a while. I'm so glad you're back. Meg from Mickey's Magic. How are you, my friend?
Oh, thanks, Dan, for having me. And it's always a fun time here on Disney Fiasco, and glad to be back. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And of course, Waltz from Mouse Talk. How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, I just got a notification that Disney Dan's going live. We got to get over there.
Got to get over there.
I did too.
Who's this Disney Dan guy?
He's all right. He's pretty cool. I've seen him here and there.
He's all right.
He's more into Universal, but
Uni what?
Exactly.
The other place.
The other place. The dark, shadowy
like
place across the streets.
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm honored as usual to be here, and thank you for thinking of
of
us.
course. Absolutely.
We're going to have fun.
We're going to have a lot of fun today. Welcome in, Samantha Lowe. How are you? I miss you crazy. I hope you and Dana are all well. And hope your time in California was great. Russ Stapleton, welcome into the stream. Dougie, what's up, buddy? So good to see you. Alex Brunner, Amy from AJC Magic TV. So good to see you too. Welcome, everybody. We're going to have a really fun show, and we're going to have a really great time. Stacey Rogers, so good to see you. That's okay. Sorry I can't stay long. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. Thank you for joining. Anyway, so I thought it would be kind of fun as the decade, I know it's crazy, the decade is coming to an end. This 2010 to 2019 decade is coming to an end. I thought it would be fun to look back and see what movies we have loved throughout this decade and some key movies that just shone throughout the 10 years, well, 9 years that we've experienced. And let me tell you something, there have been some really fantastic Disney movies this decade. Now, we're not just talking about Disney, we're talking about Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars. Hey, if you want to do Muppets, throw in Muppets in there. Anything you want, and we're going to have a nice, cool discussion today. Jim from More Sunshine, please. What's going on, pal? So good to see you. Samantha is at the King and Country concert. That's cool. That is really cool.
I've never heard of that band.
Never heard of it. And Johns is here. What's up, buddy? So good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Rachel is here. You doing the
Oompa, loompa.
Rachel, what's up? And Nick from Magical News Live. What is up, pal? So good to see you. Hope you are well, my friend. Jumpy Hazelton, so good to see you two as well. Welcome in. So many amazing people here today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Disney Decade live stream, the best. It's gonna be awesome. I can't hear because I'm at the concert too.
Wow.
I hope you're having fun, my friend. I hope you're having fun. Also, Disney World Freak, welcome into the stream as well. Sorry I missed your comment, but welcome into the stream. Okay.
Well, Russ says it's one of the top Christian artists of the year. So thanks, Russ.
That's cool. That's really, really cool. I hope it's. I might look up after the stream. And speaking of after the stream, Mr. Walt from Mouse Talk is going to be going live with some special guest. Don't know who it could be. To talk about Disney news and reviews and etc.
We are. We're going to take a hiatus.
Sports night?
Nope, not tonight.
Where's the sports?
Nope,
I'm still waiting.
Every once in a while, we go
Rugby
off
World
topic.
Cup. Rugby World Cup.
You do Disney things on Mouse Talk?
Every once in a while.
I thought Mouse Talk was just talking about mice.
Yeah.
There is a mouse in there every once in a while.
So straight after this stream, literally straight after, we're going to jump over to Walt from Mouse Talk, where we're going to be talking about news and rumors. Literally jump, like literally just do it. Why not? Just jump, everybody. I do like the Van Halen jump, but I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to get copyrighted. Not that I'm a good singer either.
I'll make you jump.
Disney Wolfie says, sorry, you can only reach out. Reading lips is, I guess, family is watching Lion King finally. at home today. That is enjoy. I'm intrigued to hear what you think of The Lion King, the new one, I'm assuming. Miguel, what is up, buddy? So good to see you too. I hope you and the family are well. Right, here we go. Thank you. Well, we've said hellos. Let's hellos. Why
We
did I
said
say
our
hellos?
hellos.
Hello screams.
Hello.
Let's talk about the Disney decade. Now, from 2010 to 2019, it's been crazy. It's been really, really cool. So many amazing films have come by. And I think we've got to admit that it's been the Disney... Wait.
Dan.
Breaking news.
Wait.
$9.99 super chat.
There we go. That's it. The first one of the thank you, Dana. You are the most amazing person in the world, and thank you for the $9.99. Here we go.
Super chat.
Hi guys, we're at the concert, so I have no audio, but just wanted to show my support. Let you know I'm thinking about you all, and I miss and love you all very much. Dana, we love you. We really do, and I miss you like crazy. You, there's Meg. I really miss you. I miss just hanging out with you, and thank you so much. You are too kind, and yeah, I hope you have fun at the concert. She is the best. Cinderella loves Disney. Welcome into the stream. So good to see you too. So here we go. Disney decade, 2010, 2019. This was like the decade of IPs, I feel. Bob Iger was like, you know what? I'm going to get as many IPs and just produce the most incredible stuff. So we're going to do Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, Muppets if you want to, and that's how we're going to do it. So I'm going to start off, ladies first. Meg, what is the first movie that really shines in this decade?
So I literally have been changing numbers back and forth. The one that ended up going first, I guess, is one that I feel closes out its own sort of decade, which is Endgame.
Okay.
And I wanted to pick that because it literally is like the last Avengers movie. So
yeah,
I wanted it to, go out, spoiler alert, with all the characters that are no longer in the MCU. And it definitely had a huge impact on all the characters, the MCU in general. And yeah, I had to go with that one. It was incredible, that movie. So
I don't think any movie will be replicated like that movie.
No.
I think that last act was probably one of the best final acts I've ever seen in a movie. Just the scope of this last act was just incredible. Jack Jones says, where's the makeup? Jack, I know we just saw Joker. I am not putting on the Joker makeup for the stream.
I didn't know that we were going to do a Joker stream. I would have done it.
We'll do that. We'll do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll all come in as different Batman villains. There we go. You're absolutely right. Avengers Endgame, surprisingly not on my list, as maybe a couple of weeks ago you probably know why Avengers Endgame is not on my list. But it was fantastic. It really was the end of this first sort of, I think they're calling it a chapter. Is it a chapter?
I mean, they have the first four, what are they called? The
Phases.
Yeah, the phases. Thanks, Walt.
It's like the Infinity Saga or something. It's like the first saga is finished. And that was kind of like the payoff, the climax of this saga. It was just phenomenal. Walt?
Made my list.
Made your list.
It certainly did. Yeah.
Why did it make your list?
Because it exactly what you just said. I think what that movie was, Endgame was a collective thank you to everyone who has seen all the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
It was a reminisce of all the movies that happened. That's how I saw it, was us going back in time and kind of reliving a lot of those movies again and again and again, with all the Easter eggs and all the time warps that they did. Mm-hmm. That's what it was. It was just one big thank you for the first 10 years of this. And it was their way of paying it off for all of us. Which, by the way, just off off topic, kind of. But I don't think it's going to be duplicated personally.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't. I hate to say that, but I don't. It was so great. Yeah, so I agree with Meg. It makes my list. It's a fantastic movie.
Miguel says the combination of a great series for sure, and I think everybody is in agreement with that. Even I'm in agreement with that for sure. It didn't actually make my list because I feel there were in my kind of top movies of the decade. It just missed out for me, just because. For me, the final act is one of my favorite final acts of any movie, but it didn't. The rest of the movie, there were better movies for me this year that I just preferred over Avengers Endgame. I know people are going to go crazy at me, but that's just it's just my opinion.
Wait, so Dougie says I've softened a lot on Endgame. Was very ragey when I first saw it, but I always seem to be ragey.
Dougie ragey? I never knew.
Never. Not Dougie.
Dougie's never mad at anything.
Yeah, Dougie never has an opinion. He's like the most laid back.
He's like super submissive. Like never has an argument with anyone.
I mean, let's just bring up how amazing Animal Kingdom is, and then he'll just agree with us. So.
Oh, Alex Brunner says that ending was Lord of the Rings level battle awesomeness. Yes. I would have to say that Lord of the Rings is way higher up on that list, though. So, I mean, it was an awesome battle, but nothing Lord of the Rings like.
You got to do the best Viggo Mortensen for Frodo. For Frodo. My friends, you bow to no one.
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna start crying again. God, Meg, we all need to do another Lord of the Rings stream at some point. That was great last time we did it. Right, Walt, we are coming to you. First Avengers Endgame. Where are we going next?
All right. Well, I didn't really. I kind of put them in an order. I kind of didn't put them in an order. So I'm going to start kind of at the bottom, and I'll work my way forward.
Okay.
So you guys are going to laugh at this, but I actually really enjoyed this movie. And you know me, I'm all about story. I don't like remakes. I don't like retreads. I don't like a lot of that stuff. This one I thought was an adaptation, because there's a difference between a remake and an adaptation.
Yep.
Prince of Persia, Sands of Time.
Oh.
That.
I actually really like
surprise
that
out of the hat
movie. I'm sorry. I thought that was Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yep.
Yep. Gemma Arterton was in it. Ben Kingsley's in it. So they had a good cast. I liked the story. I liked the special effects. The cinematography was great. I thought the story was done really, really well. It's an adaptation of a game, but I thought Disney did a good job. Now, it wasn't well received. I loved it. I thought it was good. I did. I thought it was. Melissa loved it too. She thought it was really good. I'm speaking for her.
Okay, I've had a lot of shock moments today. Most of them being in Joker, but that has blown my mind.
It's not number one. It just makes
no. But just like out of all the movies this whole decade, and I just did not expect you to come out with Prince of Persia.
Yeah,
I'm shocked. Hey, look, dude, if that's the way who am I to judge? Like seriously,
Oh, it's okay. You can judge. I'm going to judge some of yours, I'm sure.
We'll see. We'll see about that. I'm going to be honest. I've seen the movie once. I thought it was fine. I mean, it's not something I'm going to buy on Blu-ray. It's not.
I have it on Blu-ray.
You have. How many times have you watched it this year?
I don't know. I mean, I've probably seen it 10 times. I enjoy it. I think it's good. I think it's fun.
I feel like it's one of those like guilty pleasure movies.
Yes.
Right.
Look, there are certain movies. Look, I think I know I do. I go into every movie with a certain expectation.
Yeah.
Certain movies I'm expecting to be Oscar worthy. Certain movies are the guilty pleasures. Some of them are just, look, this is just action. Take it for what it is. This one was just a guilty pleasure. I didn't know what to expect, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was done well. But it wasn't received well, so we'll never get a sequel or anything like that.
We will not get a sequel. No way. No.
A la John Carter.
Do you like John Carter?
No, not at all.
Oh, I was going to get even more shocked.
Meg, is that on your list?
No.
Wasn't even on mine either.
No.
Shocker right there.
Hear Melissa down there laughing.
It's like Brandy's laugh.
Yeah. It's
Right.
you go.
Moving swiftly
Shocker.
on. Moving swiftly on. I'm gonna choose a movie that came out in 2010 that completely changed the Disney animation. I feel like this is the second coming of Disney animation.
Pick me.
Prince
Pick
of
me.
Persia.
I want to guess.
Go on then.
Oh, I know.
Does
I know.
it start with T and have long hair?
Yeah. Where's Corey when we need him? I chose Tangled. Here's my reasoning. 2010, I was a really young man, a young boy, looking to watch my next Disney movie after we've had films like Bolt, Meet the Robinson, Chicken Little, and Home on the Range, which is by far the worst movie of all time.
You said it was the best.
No. Wait, Sarah is here.
Hi,
Hey,
Sarah.
Sarah, hi.
Sarah, hey.
Listen, it's Sarah.
We miss
Scottish
you.
doppelganger.
Scottish doppelganger. We miss you. I chose Tangled because this was like a big kind of sort of rejuvenation of Disney animation. Like they went back to kind of telling proper storytelling. They introduced that in The Princess and the Frog that came just before the decade. And then they really brought it up to speed with Tangled. The movie's fantastic. The voice acting is fantastic. The music is amazing. The humor is great. I mean, Flynn Rider is a really quite compelling character. And I just don't understand that out of all the Disney characters that you can meet in Walt Disney World, he's the one that looks exactly like the one in the animation. I just don't get it. Like, why can't I look as good as Flynn Rider? I just don't understand. Hey ho, whatever. Steve, what's up, pal? So good to see you. Welcome into the stream. And yeah, I think it's just is a very great. It reminds me a lot of the Disney 90s period with, you know, films like Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, and it just felt like that kind of animation. So I had to choose Tangled as my number one. Meg?
That was my number 3, so I'm right up there with you.
There we go.
Great movie. Mandy Moore is one of my favorite actresses, especially for voice acting. I think she fit the role of Rapunzel to a T. Ironically, T. She has such a great voice, and her singing voice is incredible. And I think she just did an amazing job with the movie. And I think in terms of animation, is so beautifully done. A huge change from the year before with The Princess and the Frog, leaving hand-drawn animation. And the music is also just really wonderful. So I love it. I love that movie.
Absolutely. Great way to start off a decade.
Yeah.
Walt?
Made my list. Yep, absolutely. It was like number 7 for me, but I really enjoyed Tangled.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. I agree. I think Mandy Moore was fantastic in the role. She does really well, and she's a great singer. So I thought it was great.
Absolutely.
I love the movie. I think it's a lot of fun.
And Miguel says, almost as good as Frozen.
Well, I think it's better than Frozen.
We'll have to debate that, I'm sure. I'm sure that's going to be on a Tangled versus Frozen segment.
The next one has to be, Miguel, Aladdin versus Hercules, and I will do that any day, and I will get Rowan and I will get Steve on my side.
I will back you for Hercules.
I will hear you have Walt there.
I will back you for Hercules. I wrote a paper on it.
I don't see how Aladdin is better than Hercules.
Well, I think it depends on your point of view, and your point of view is that it's better.
No,
mine
my point of view
is that it's not, and
I'm
Miguel's
always
is
right.
it's not.
So,
And Melissa's is that it is not.
Right, moving swiftly on. I feel like this is going to be like a.
But I love Hercules. That's a great. I love Hercules. Are you kidding me?
we're not in that decade.
Yeah,
we're not. Yeah, we're in the next year. We'll do the 90s.
Walt's point of view is wrong, says Steve. And Melissa said, "Don't speak for me."
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Please, Meg, save us from this.
Okay,
Please allow us to.
My second one that I picked was Big Hero 6.
Nice.
This is such a good movie, and if you haven't seen Big Hero 6, you're like totally missing out. The storyline is incredible. It has such great characters. One of my favorite characters of Baymax. I love Fall Out Boy, and Fall Out Boy did a great song, Immortals.
So
and
good.
I just love that it's so action-packed, and it has a great storyline, and it's also technically Marvel, so it's such a great movie, and I would highly recommend it to anyone.
And as a Stan Lee cameo.
Yes.
Only Disney movie that has a Stan Lee cameo, which is great.
Miguel, no. The 6 is
What?
out of 10.
What?
Miguel, picking fights tonight.
Gosh, this is all going down now, isn't it? Big Hero 6 almost made my list. I don't get me wrong, I love the movie. I think it is really, really good. Just didn't quite make the cut for me. Walt, what about you?
It almost made the list. It made my honorable mention.
Right.
For sure. I actually really like the movie. I agree with Meg. I think it's a good story. I think it's different. I think that's one of the reasons why I liked it. There's just other ones that I like more, but no, I really enjoyed the movie. I love Baymax himself.
Yeah.
I think he's a great character. It's awesome.
It is great.
It just missed out. It was the next one of my top 10. It was number 11. So
right.
Yeah.
I mean, especially after the craziness of Frozen, the way to go for Disney next was completely the opposite. Non-Disney princess, non-fairy tale, go straight into kind of like a sci-fi kind of Tokyo meets San Francisco kind of blend. Like it was genius. It was really, really good.
Yeah. And also Drunk Baymax is like the best.
Harry baby.
Yes!
We jumped out a window.
It's just like and trying to taping the whole that's like one of my favorite parts too.
And it won an Oscar, says Alex. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They won an Oscar. Right, Walt, what about for your next one?
all right, let's see if I can shock you with the next one too.
Oh gosh, here we go.
I'm getting my face ready.
Oh no. Alice through the looking glass.
So, are we going like our favorites first, or does it matter?
However you'd like.
Okay, this is not number one. I'm saving number one for last.
Okay.
But one of the movies I really liked in 2011, we're going to Marvel. I really enjoyed Thor.
Oh,
The original Thor. Melissa did too. It's all about story. Again, story is unique. It was different. And we went into this movie with zero expectation. We didn't know anything about Thor. I didn't know who he was. I'm like, okay, it's a guy with a hammer. Big deal. We love that movie. Exactly. That's what we were like. We were like, big deal. He's a guy with a hammer. Who cares? But it was awesome. I thought it was fantastic. Anthony Hopkins, who was cast as Odin, was awesome. Rene Russo's fantastic. It was just a really good movie. Kenneth Branagh, who directed the movie, did a really good job. It's my favorite Thor. I hate Thor as a punchline. I can't stand him as a...
Russ says good, but
you know
not
that,
as good as Thor Ragnarok. I'm not going to get you started on Walt.
Everybody loves that, and that's the great thing about these is everybody has their different opinions. I couldn't stand Ragnarok. I hated it. He was like a punchline in that movie. But I really enjoyed Thor. I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. But it was expectation. I had no idea what to expect, and we really, really loved it. And so that one makes my list. It was number 10. It was like the last one, but it just made it for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like the movie. For me, I think we did the Marvel ranking list. I think it was last week or the week before, and it definitely was more on the good side compared to the not so good side of the MCU. It's not my favorite MCU movie at all, but I think what really was good about the first Thor was establishing key characters for the MCU. Yeah. And that is, Thor, Loki, Odin.
Well, that's the thing. That's what that movie gave us. It really gave really good character development, for sure.
Yeah. Avery says, I'm planning to watch Jojo Rabbit next weekend. It was made by Fox Searchlight, but it's being distributed by Disney, so it's technically a Disney movie. Heard good things about it so far. Let me tell you something. I watched the trailer for Jojo Rabbit. I was laughing so much because I love Taika Waititi. I think he's a phenomenal director, and I'm looking forward to that movie. Meg, Thor for you?
Oh, Steve said, where did I go?
Oh yeah, because I did this.
Oh. So my favorite part of Thor is when they're eating breakfast and he just like throws the coffee down and he's like, more. I mean, I do agree. We didn't really know where Thor was going to go.
Yep.
I definitely like Thor Ragnarok way more than the other two, but if I had to pick a close second, it would be, the original Thor. I wasn't as big of a fan as Thor the Dark World, but I do like Chris Hemsworth and his humor that he has in there, and it was definitely cool to see Asgard and that development into the MCU and meet Loki, and I think Tom Hiddleston is an incredible actor as well, so that was a nice pick, but I definitely would have picked Thor Ragnarok over the original Thor, but I know you hate Thor Ragnarok.
Well, no, but see, the thing about it is exactly what you said is what made it so good, is the scene where he's throwing down the cup is funny. Although it's not supposed to be. He's being serious. I mean, that's how he lives.
Because it's a fish out of water kind of scene, yeah.
Right, that's how they live. He goes, I meant no disrespect, which he didn't. But you're right. And like when he gets hit by the car, when they back up and hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious, although it's not supposed to be. He's just walking. But I mean, I just thought it was really well done, and we were surprised. We walked out of there like, wow, that was great.
One of my favorite scenes from that movie is when he walks into the pet store and he goes, "I need a horse."
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's a great line, but he's dead
we have
serious.
dogs.
Yeah, I agree.
It's great. Fantastic pick for sure. My second pick was released in December 2013. I remember exactly where I was. I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I remember crying in this movie. And it's the first movie to portray Walt Disney, and that is Saving Mr. Banks.
Oh, yes.
This movie, for me, is one of my favorite movies ever. Just because Tom Hanks is the most perfect actor to reprise Walt Disney. I mean, like when I was watching that movie, I was like, no, this is not Tom Hanks playing Walt Disney. This is Walt Disney. This is exactly his mannerisms that I've seen in, these old pictures, there's old videos that I've seen. He gives out his signature on cards that he famously did. He really brought Walt Disney to life. I think it was absolutely fantastic. I think Emma Thompson, although she's not one of my favorite actresses ever, I think she did a fantastic job. And the boys who played the Sherman brothers were fantastic. It just really brought everything together. And even the flashback story of P.L. Travers and how she grew up in Australia and the tragic story that she went through and how she kind of is closed off away from the rest of the world. It was fascinating. I really did enjoy it, and it not only does it make tells you how good Mary Poppins is, it kind of even makes it even better for what it was. Like, it's that good. So, Saving Mr. Banks, 100%. In my opinion, it is the best live-action movie that Disney has poured out this decade. That's my opinion. So, Meg, what about you?
Yes, so I was going back and forth. I wrote it down, and then I crossed it out, and I wrote it back down, and I crossed it out. So that's how close it was to being in one of my top ones. I think that movie's incredible. Yep. I get so sad watching it, though. It's such a sad movie, but I totally agree. It does make Mary Poppins even like on that next level. Like, Mary Poppins was always a great movie, but then after learning more about the backstory and exactly what you said about Tom Hanks, I'm so so excited to see the new movie about Mr. Rogers, and he's just such a great actor. And I think I agree too. It's probably the best live. I thought you were going to say ever, and then I was going to argue with you, but I think I agree with this decade. It's probably the best live action Disney movie.
Yeah, I really can't think of any other live action movie that has been as good as Saving Mr. Banks. Walt, what do you think?
It was number 4 for me. And Meg, we can argue because I think it is the best live action by Disney.
Ever?
Of all time?
No.
For me.
Wow.
I mean, Mary Poppins has got it's good. I don't know. I really just enjoyed this story a lot.
Yeah.
What makes it better is the fact that they give you the backstory, which is it's very sad. It's terrible. I mean, her father drank himself to death.
Yeah.
He died of consumption, basically.
And Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell does a fantastic performance.
Oh, absolutely. I don't even like Colin Farrell, but this is my favorite role by him. He is phenomenal in this movie.
Yeah. I thought he was great in Dumbo, too.
He was good in Dumbo.
I haven't seen it. So I can't say I haven't seen it yet. But
good performance.
Yeah, but like you said, Tom Hanks, they're all really, really good in this movie.
Dougie says, in a world where the two Mighty Ducks exist.
Yeah, we're all the hockey movies.
Oh, my God. But anyway, I agree a lot with you.
I bet Dougie has gone off to put his Mighty Ducks shirt on right now.
And he has like the hat and the jersey and everything.
No, it is a fantastic movie, and I there was no question I was putting this number 2 on my list. Right, Meg, we are back to you.
Oh, already. Okay.
We are.
Well, we talked about my number 3, which was Tangled, so I'll go to my number 4.
Yep.
Which is Spider-Man: Homecoming. So Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. He has been for quite some time. I loved when Tobey Maguire played Spider-Man. I loved when Andrew Garfield played Spider-Man, but Tom Holland is by far my favorite Spider-Man, and I think he just captured that essence of geeky and quirky, and also being like super awkward and a teenager, and he actually looks like a teenager. And I just thought Spider-Man: Homecoming was so great. When he knocks on the door to go pick up his date for his homecoming dance, and then opens the door to you know, I don't want to say who it is in case someone hasn't seen it, but I was like,
yeah. But
what twist?
That scene in the car is intense.
Yes.
That is intense right there.
Yeah. So that is probably my favorite MCU movie. I absolutely love Spider-Man: Homecoming. I just recently saw Spider-Man: Far From Home, and I loved it just as much as I thought. The beginning was a little bit slow, but then once you got into a little bit more of Mysterio and Jake Gyllenhaal, it was great. So especially towards the end, that one got...
It's the ending of Far From Home and the post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
Like, I am so... Like, it was the first time I've ever come out of a movie, and I'm just like, what is going to happen next? Like, I'm just genuinely like, this has never happened. In the it must have happened in the comics, but we've never it's always been Spidey and him, and he's kept his other persona, Peter Parker going to high school, it's him, and it's just
he's a teenager.
I'm excited. Walt, I know this is probably not on your list because I know you're not the biggest Spider-Man fan.
No, I see. It just again, I think it's generational because I really enjoy Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I just don't Homecoming to me felt like 16 Candles meets Spider-Man.
I like that.
Well, and that's fine. For me, I really enjoyed the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I still think Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock and Alfred Molina is the best movie of all time.
So good.
I mean, for me, that one's number 1 by far.
Yeah.
Homecoming was fine. It didn't make my list. I know Mason loves it. It's his favorite.
Miguel?
No, not millennials at all.
Not really, because the Spider-Man movies came out in 2000 and 2002, didn't they?
What is a millennial? I don't even know what's the bracket.
Anything that's come after the millennium, no? Any person
it's halfway through the 80s or something, or early 80s to the 1997 or something. I don't remember the years. I can look it up. But...
Okay.
Hey, we fit the category.
Yes, I'm in there.
So no, I didn't dislike it. It just doesn't make my top 10. That's all.
That's fine.
Oh,
That's
Miguel gave us the years, 1982 to 1998.
Well, guess we fit that. I do.
I do.
Because see, our birthdays are coming up
Generation
soon.
X?
Yeah.
Generation X.
I don't know.
Speaking of X, what's your next one, Walt?
For me, okay.
That was a terrible segue, by the way.
All right. So this one would have been like number 8 for me. I thought this one was really fun. Again, totally different concept for a movie. It was original. It was very funny. It's Wreck-It Ralph.
Nice.
2012.
Yeah.
I love original stories when you can give me something where you use your head a little bit and come up with something that's not a retread and a remake. I love the concept of that movie. I thought it was fantastic. It was so fun, so original. John C. Reilly is Wreck-It Ralph, and what's her name? Sarah Silverman is Vanellope?
Yeah.
Awesome. She did such a really good job as Vanellope. She really was awesome. And John C. Reilly was just so funny. And then I can't think of the guy's name that played Fix-It Felix. He's funny too.
He's what's his name in 30 Rock?
Yeah, I can't think of his name. And Jane Lynch is in it. She's really good. It's just a really good movie. I love the concept behind it. It's so original, and it was heartwarming as well. It's awesome. Cinematography and the animation is fantastic. It makes my list.
Yeah, Dougie, it's like Jack something. I don't remember
John Lithgow.
It's not John Lithgow.
No, it's Jack something.
Yeah, it's definitely not John Lithgow.
Jack Nicholson. No, it's not Jack Nicholson. Wasn't on my list. Wreck-It Ralph was not on my list. It was definitely a good movie. I really enjoyed it for sure. I even have the Steelbook on Blu-ray. Like, it's great. Didn't make my list. I still really enjoyed it for sure, and I liked the sequel as well. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Meg, was it on your list?
So that was the other one that I had written down and crossed off. I really love Wreck-It Ralph. I love the basis of the movie where it's this guy who's deemed a bad guy and a villain, and he's like, I don't want to be a bad guy. I want to be a good guy. And why can't I be a good guy? So it's all about, him trying to. Oh, Jack McBrayer.
Jack McBrayer.
Yes.
That's
I was like, I know it's something like Jack. Yes. His name's Kenneth on 30 Rock, right? I think it's Kenneth. Anyway, I love 30 Rock. It's such a good movie. I wasn't as big of a fan as Ralph Breaks the Internet. I thought Wreck-It Ralph was better.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Sometimes I find Sarah Silverman's voice to be annoying, but I think it's good for Vanellope. Just sometimes it's like really over the top.
Yeah.
But I really love John C. Reilly. He's so funny. Steve says, "Oh, I was thinking Third Rock from the Sun."
Now that is John.
So close. Yeah, 30 Rock has Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes, 30 Rock is different. But I love Wreck-It Ralph, and it's a good one. It almost made my list, so.
I just wanted more Sonic the Hedgehog in it.
And Pac-Man.
But nope. They just had a cameo and that was it.
Yeah.
Qbert. I wanted more Qbert.
More Qbert. So speaking of treads and remakes, my next one, we're about to get a bit controversial. There was one movie that came out this decade that for months and months and months, I was scared and terrified and nervous, and I had to wait a week after it was released to go see it. I turned my phone off for a week in 2015, and that is Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Oh. I think this just... Look, obviously we're going to talk more about this on Star Wars Sunday next month. This, for me, was what Star Wars, the prequels, should have been like. It should have been something similar, but also different to the originals. They should have treads. They should have things that were similar to the originals. Maybe not as similar as A New Hope. I agree, it is a lot like A New Hope, but there were also a lot of differences as well. I really enjoyed the movie. I went to see it 3 more times after I saw it the first time. I really love that movie so much. It made me become a proper, like, just, it made me love Star Wars again. I loved it so much that I even bought the Star Wars The Force Awakens collector's edition with like the 3D, and I don't even have a 3D TV, but I had to buy the special collector's edition because I just really loved it. It was for me one of the best movies of the decade. Even okay, it's a lot like A New Hope, big whoop. So's Creed. That's a lot like Rocky. Who cares? It's not for me. It's not a criticism. It's more of an honor that it is kind of paying homage to the original. That's just my opinion. But for me, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, for sure has to be on my list. Fantastic Chronicles, welcome into the stream. I don't know who I should go to next. I'm more scared about who's... Right, Meg, I'm going to come to you because I know you're not as big of a Star Wars fan as, say, the MCU. Did you get to see the movie?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen all of the Star Wars movies. I'm a fan. I'm not a huge fan. I think they're cool. I was really blown away by Galaxy's Edge, and my mom had never seen a Star Wars movie when we got home.
Neither had Sarah. Don't worry, it's fine. Sarah, if you're still watching.
We got home though, so she's seen one Star Wars movie. None of the Star Wars movies made my list. Obviously, there's so many movies that we could chose from.
Yeah.
I love the introduction of Rey. I think she's so cool. Obviously, I really like the villains, so I think Kylo Ren is awesome.
Yeah.
And I sort of like their connection. I've only seen the movie once, so I can't speak too much to it. But it's a good movie. I like other movies better. I was actually a fan of the prequel, so everyone don't hate me in the chat, but I think I like all the Star Wars movies. So I'm not picky.
Don't worry, you're not. Well, Kyle from Eye to Eye chose Attack of the Clones as his favorite Star Wars movie ever. So Kyle, if you're watching or watching the replay, no. Walt. Do we save this argument for Star Wars Sunday next month?
We'll save it for next month. It didn't make my list.
I thought not.
Again, I don't know. I mean, you know me, as a Star Wars big fan who, grew up with them, you got to bring it. It didn't bring it.
Not for you.
Not for me.
For me,
I understand that you don't mind that it was very close to A New Hope.
Yeah.
I just felt like, give me something a little bit different, and it was just too very almost carbon copy in a lot of ways.
And I feel like this is
I didn't
obviously
dislike it. I liked it better
this
than
will be
the other one.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like we could definitely branch out on this next month for Star Wars Sunday, how we can discuss the differences and similarities between Episode 7 and A New Hope. So let's move swiftly on because I want to get some more in before we jump over to your channel. I wanted to bring up Star Wars, but obviously we could save that for next month. And speaking of which, Star Wars Sunday this month will happen. Return of the Jedi. We're just figuring out a date to do that, but that will be this month. We'll figure it out. Fantastic. Right, Meg, I think we'll have time for one, and then we'll go through our honorable mentions. So go for it. Send it to me, your favorite or one of your favorites of this decade.
Oh, not just the next one on my list?
Just go for whatever, anything.
I'll just go with the next one on my list.
Which is?
That's Captain America: Civil War. I feel like I'm looking at my list. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of Marvel on here. I mean, there's so many Disney, Pixar movies that I absolutely love, but this is, like I said, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. This is the introduction of Tom Holland as Spider-Man in Civil War. That scene at the airport is so cool. And then just having all of them together, it's like a pre-Infinity War, just getting everyone together. I know that Walt is always Team Captain America. I've always been
Team Stark.
Tony Stark. I love Iron Man, and even though it's Captain America's movie, I just absolutely love that movie.
It's a mini Avengers movie. Let's be honest.
It's a mini Avengers movie. Yeah, basically, I love it. I love it so much.
It will, as probably most of you know, Avengers. No, not Avengers. Captain America: Civil War is my favorite MCU movie by far. I think it's just the way Baron Zemo completely turns friend against friend, like literally Avenger against Avenger, and that end scene, that airport scene, is so good. So many great lines. Have you seen that old movie, The Empire Strikes Back?
Old movie, Empire
Like the
Strikes
walking
Back?
thingies.
Tony, how old is this guy?
Such a great movie. You get the, like you said, introduction to Spidey, introduction to Black Panther.
Yeah.
You get really more development from the Winter Soldier. Just, it is great. It is really, really great. So I'm so happy you picked that, because there were so many others I wanted to pick and I couldn't pick it. So props to you. Absolutely. Walt, Civil War. I know you're a Team Cap fan.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes a list. It was like number 6 for me. It's one of my favorites by all means. The airport scene is probably one of the better fight scenes in any of the Marvel movies. Period. Yeah. I really get upset watching the last fight scene. I don't like it. I don't like to see the two of them fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's hard to watch.
See, to me, there's Team Cap, there's Team Iron Man, but there's not. Okay, yeah. I didn't want to see them fight each other. They each had their point of view. They each had their reasons why they're on their side.
Yeah. Okay,
you're going to pick one side or the other. That's fine, but I didn't like seeing them fight. But I love the movie. The premise behind the movie is fantastic. And what really made it awesome is it's totally opposite of what they did in the comics. Yeah. It's not anything like they did in the comics for Civil War. Totally different. But it still worked, and it worked well. I love the movie. I mean, it makes my list. It's one of my favorite Captain America movies. And it's Captain America because you're telling his story. Yeah. And they're all just part of the story that they're telling there. I get that everybody thinks it's like kind of a mini Avengers, but it's his story that they're all included in. I think that's why they did it that way. I agree, Meg. I thought it was awesome.
Absolutely. Mr. Gonzo PR, what's up, Miguel? So good to see you, pal. Hope everything is well. Hope you're having a good weekend. Walt, we are back to you.
Whew, okay, so I haven't given you my number 1 or number 2, so I'll give you my number 1.
Yep.
And then we'll kind of talk about number 2 later, maybe. Number 1 for me is Pixar. I thought it was one of the best movies ever. It's Toy Story 3. I love Toy Story 3. I'm sorry.
Come on.
I don't even want to get into Toy Story 4.
If there is no person who ever cried in that movie.
Yes, exactly. Come on. And a lot, too. The ending of that movie is very good. It's very apropos. They ended it very well. It's probably the greatest trilogy of animation, in my opinion, for 3. I mean, it's up there in one as trilogies go.
Yeah.
If they had stopped there, it would have been included in some great trilogies of trilogies, period. Yeah. But I love it. I love Toy Story 3. Everything about that movie is fantastic. It's just awesome. And
it's become
a home run.
You know, it was part of like the perfect trilogy club, and I feel like the only other trilogy that could be fit into that club is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, sure.
But now it's more into the perfect franchise club where there is no bad movie in that franchise. Look, Star Wars, arguably, you know, I know there are some prequel lovers out there, but Star Wars has not had every movie that is being as good as each other. Same with Harry Potter. Same with the X-Men. Same with Spider-Man. Like, Toy Story, every single one of these movies have been as good as each other. There hasn't been a bad Toy Story movie. And I think Toy Story 3 has just... Look, it's known to be that movie that makes people cry. That's how we know of it. So, hey, I mean, he was definitely on my list. Meg?
So...
Oh, no.
So,
oh, no.
This is the last one that I had put down and crossed out. Because as much as I love Toy Story 3, I like other movies more. I cried
That's perfectly
way more watching Inside Out than I did watching Toy Story 3. I am a kid that grew up watching Toy Story. I was going to college around the same time Andy was. It was like my life in the movie. But for some reason, I cried way more watching Big Hero 6. I cried way more watching Inside Out. I cried way more watching Civil War and Infinity War. And, you know, I like Inside Out better than I like Toy Story 3. I'm sorry. I like Toy Story 1 and I like Toy Story 2. Toy Story 3 is okay. Still haven't seen Toy Story 4, but sorry.
You're gonna cry.
Meg, wait for DVD.
Well, yeah, get it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, well, I know it's come out now, so
It's really good. As we are wrapping up for time, Meg, are you watching? Are you looking at my list? Because Toy Story 3 was on my honorable mention, and my next one is Inside Out. I think it's criminally underrated.
Yes,
Criminally, this movie made me cry like this, and
It's
I was
supposed to. It's all emotions.
But
but it hits you.
But here's the thing, right? I went to see this when I was working at a camp in New Hampshire with loads of kids. And they came out of that movie and they were like, oh, fine. Like, oh, it's fine. Like, it's good. It's good. All the counselors were crying because, like, you really have to be sort of that gone through your childhood and really experience, you know, you were Riley at some point in your life. There's no question. And just the way, you know, joy and sadness interacts and Bing Bong, it just don't even get me started. I'm already starting to tear up.
Yeah.
Inside Out is certainly one of the best Pixar movies out there, for sure. It made me cry. It made me feel. I know it's kind of ironic because it is all about emotions, but it's true.
For me, that movie hits so hard with me because I grew up playing ice hockey like Riley does.
Yeah.
And as I feel like Dan, I feel like we've both been pretty vocal about like going through like ups and downs in life. So as someone that's like dealt with depression, that really hits you. So like,
God, you're gonna make me start crying.
In such a way, like, and Amy Poehler, oh my God, she's incredible. But just I like could not say more about this movie. Dan, like you said, it's so underrated, and I connect so strongly to it. Crazy.
It's for me. I would put this over Toy Story movies. I would watch this over the Toy Story movies. I don't get me wrong, the Toy Story movies are groundbreaking in animation, but if I really want to feel something, if I really want to watch a groundbreaking movie that I think people should watch in their lifetime, it's Inside Out. It's phenomenal. Right. As we are getting close, just remember in about 7 minutes time, we are going to hop over to Walt's channel, where we're going to be joined. Well, Walt's going to be joined by a very special guest, me. And we're going to talk about some Disney news and have a lot of fun. But before that, we are going to run through our ever so growing lists of the top movies that came out this decade, and then we'll jump over there. Nathan T's Halloween and stuff, welcome into the stream. Dances with Goofy, welcome in as well. Thank you so much for joining. Meg, what did your list look like?
Okay, I like rewrote everything so many times. Okay, Endgame, Big Hero 6, Tangled, Spider-Man Homecoming, Captain America Civil War, Infinity War. Oh, no. Sorry. Princess and the Frog, yes. Infinity War, Up. Wait. No, we did have Wreck-It Ralph on here. and Inside Out.
Awesome. Really great picks there. Lots of all different from Marvel and Pixar and a few from Disney as well. So really good, really good picks. Walt, what did your list look like?
We had Prince of Persia, Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm sorry, I just can't get over that. Walt is
Prince of
being
Persia.
serious.
What's that? No, absolutely. I think it's a great movie. Hey, that's what makes these lists so great is that everybody has different. Because see, like, it's just different for everybody, and it's all about connections with a lot of movies. Like you two had a connection to Inside Out. I liked Inside Out, but it didn't make my list. Yeah. But it's a good movie. Yeah. But it's about the connection it makes with you 100%. On a personal level with a lot of movies.
100%.
And that's what puts these. What doesn't for one does for another. It's what makes these lists awesome.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
Thor, Wreck-It Ralph, Prince of Persia, Endgame, Saving Mr. Banks, Civil War, Infinity War made my list.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 was number 1, and Winter Soldier, which to me was such a game changer in the MCU that it's awesome. And it was a game changer.
It definitely was. Definitely was. Couldn't agree more. My list went like this. Tangled was my number 1.
I forgot about Tangled. Yeah, that one too.
Yeah. Tangled number 1. Saving Mr. Banks number 2. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens number 3. Inside Out number 4. I had Toy Story 3. I had Frozen because of how crazy of a phenomenon it was. No denying, like, it may not have been the best Disney movie ever. You could not deny how much of a phenomenon Frozen was. Zootopia, I think, was phenomenal.
Oh, Zootopia's so good.
The original Avengers 2012, I think the first time we've ever seen anything like that on the big screen, for sure. Captain America Civil War, Avengers Endgame, Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy, and Infinity War as well. So, yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well, guys, I hope you really enjoyed Disney Fiasco episode 69. Next week is episode 70 of Disney Fiasco. 70 episodes. How have we done 70 episodes? I just have no idea. But I've got to thank Meg, firstly, Meg from Mickey's Magic, co-host, friend. I'm so glad that you're back. I know you're working super hard, and thank you for just taking time out of your day to come and join for our normal wonderful streams. So thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thanks, Dan, for having me. It was a lot of fun. I always love talking about movies, and yeah, I can't wait to see non-sports on Sports Night.
No, it's gonna be weird. No sports.
Why? We've done it before.
No sports on Sports Night, and I haven't spoken about food for nearly an hour.
I know. So, well, that's going to change in a minute.
So thank you, Meg from Mickey's Magic. Guys, please go and check out my wonderful partner channel, Meg from Mickey's Magic. Amazing content. Halloween unboxing this week was just amazing with the whole.
Thanks.
It was so great. I loved it.
Thank you.
I don't know how long it took you to do the makeup, but I think it was just phenomenal.
Thank you.
And partner channel, Walt from Mouse Talk. Guys, remember, in about a couple minutes time, 2 minutes time, we're going to jump over to Walt from Mouse Talk. Thank you so much, Val. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. I had fun. I like the fact that we all don't have the same answers on these kinds of things. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be boring.
Definitely.
If we do like early 2000s, I expect you to come out with like National Treasure or something with Nicolas Cage.
I like National Treasure.
That movie's so good.
Yeah, I like National Treasure.
Actually, I prefer the second one. I
like the second one.
Well, thank you so much, of course.
So thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. Meg, as always, it's an honor to be on here with you. Thank you.
Oh, thanks,
and thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Power Channel Steve from Steve's World, of course. Go check out Steve's channel. Myers and the Mouse, Melissa, Russ, Noah, Mason, Sarah, who was in here earlier.
That's my son, by the way.
Fantastic Chronicles, Nathan. Well, thank you everybody who joined us. You can also check out my other partner channels, RobFuz, as well as Corey from Corey Fiasco as well. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. And guys, I did release, I don't know if you guys got the notification, let me know if you did, but I did release a video this week where we hung out with Tanya from That Crazy Disney Lady and Epcot Bob. Guys, if you missed the vlog, go check it out. It was really fun. We rode Small World. I nearly capsized into it. Go check it out. Like, seriously, it's fun. Go check it out. It was fun. And then new vlog coming up this week where it's all about Disney's Animal Kingdom. and we rode Navi River Journey and Dinosaur. So that's going to be coming out this week.
Let's go get that done.
Let's go get that dino, and let's go and get to your stream. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you all for episode 70 next week. Thank you so much. Live your life, feel smile each and every day, and I'll see you guys all real soon. Head over to Walt's channel right now. Go. Do it.